let's get right into it. Vladimir Putin thinks that Justin Trudeau is an idiot, and he said it in front of a crowd and got a massive applause. This is wild. Vladimir Putin doesn't speak often, but when he does, it's a very odd state of affairs that he is right in line with the thoughts of the people of Canada. Very, very interesting. Now, if you don't know, Justin Trudeau and pretty much all of the Canadian government, they honored a man who fought in World War II. The only problem is that this man fought on the side of the Nazis, and that's a very big problem. So they were all very apologetic. A lot of them were shocked, especially the Jewish people in the government who had no idea. And Justin Trudeau apologized, but he didn't apologize himself. He didn't say, "I'm sorry." He kind of pointed out everybody else's fault in this and how sorry they must be. And then for some reason, he decided to say this. No idea why, but he went on to say this. Here, let's just go right here.
Or celebrating commemorating Yom Kippur today. I think it's going to be really important that all of us push back against Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation, and continue our steadfast and unequivocal support for Ukraine, as we did last week with announcing further measures to stand with Ukraine in Russia's illegal war against it.
Now, okay, so he said that, and it didn't make any real sense because for some reason he brought up Russia. For some reason he brought up Russian propaganda. It was almost like he was suggesting that the whole situation could be pawned off on Russian propaganda, and almost has this tone of like this happening is Putin's fault. When in reality, it's the Canadian government's fault for virtue signaling to such an extent that they were willing to bring in anyone who was Ukrainian so they could honor them. It's really their fault. And he himself didn't actually take any blame for this. So, very interesting. So here's Vladimir Putin talking some facts about Justin Trudeau. Let's go.
Мы относимся к Канаде, несмотря ни на что, с уважением, особенно к людям. Но если он не знает, что во время войны против России сражался Гитлер и его приспешники, то он идиот. Он, значит, просто в школе не учился, не имеет элементарных знаний. А если он знает, что этот человек сражался на стороне Гитлера, и называет его героем Украины и героем Канады, то он негодяй. Или так, или так. Мы относимся к Канаде.
Now I'm going to go through it for you and actually read those off in case you had trouble following along. No problem. Let's go. We relate to Canada no matter what, especially with respect to the people. But if he doesn't know during the war that Hitler and his henchmen fought against Russia, then he's an idiot. And that's when they applaud. Well, that means he just didn't study at school, has no basic knowledge. But if he knows that this man fought on the Nazi side and calls him a hero of Ukraine and a hero of Canada, then he's a villain. It's either this or that. Very true. Very, very true. Very odd situation to have Vladimir Putin say something bad about you and him be right, especially in today's climate. But again, the Canadian government decided to virtue signal to this high extent where they brought in this old man who fought in World War II, and it sounded in their head, because they were so anti-Russia, it sounded like a good idea. It sounded like a great thing to do. Let's honor this man. They just didn't realize what side this man was fighting on. Lack of research, obviously. They could have easily just looked into this man and seen it. But then Vladimir brings up the point of, did he know? Did he know? So it's either he's dumb or he's a villain. And honestly, that's true. we're all taking the thought process that he didn't know. That's what I think. I think they were virtue signaling so much. I think they were just so anti-Russia. I think they just wanted to look so good in front of Zelensky that they just brought in anybody. They rushed it. They didn't research nothing. They didn't have to do it. They could have just had Zelensky there. They could have said, hey, listen, no one in Canada can afford a home and things are getting really hard for everybody, but we're going to give you a whole bunch of money and we're always going to support you. And everybody could have just applauded Zelensky, just like they do in America. But instead, they wanted to take it a step further, and it bit them. It bit them real bad. So that's what's going on with Justin Trudeau. Wild situation. I feel a little bad that this is happening to Justin Trudeau. Not really. It's Putin, right? And and then to bring up Russian propaganda, it just makes no sense. All he had to do as prime minister, as a man, is say, I wish I told everyone to look into this person more. I didn't realize who I was applauding. I am so sorry, and I apologize to every single Jewish person in the world, but especially the ones that live in the country that I'm running. That's it. I apologize. This will never happen again. We will always research anybody that we bring into honor. We will do heavy research. I apologize. I'm sorry. That's it. That's what men do. But instead, he's bringing up how the Speaker of the House is responsible and he feels bad. He's talking about how, the Jewish people who are in the government must feel really bad. He brought everybody up but himself. And this is why nobody likes him. This is why people don't want to shake his hand in public. This is why people scream at him when he's being led by 8 SUVs and he gets out and waves to everybody. This is why he's met with such negativity, not just in his country, but abroad. And it's not just in America and it's not just in Canada, it's in Europe. People can see. I mean, I just did a video just a couple months ago about how people in Italy were calling him a buffoon. This guy needs to correct his behavior. Or just leave office, and obviously you can't do it abruptly, but I don't know. This guy is a terrible leader by any country standard, just a terrible leader. Anyways, guys, tell me what you think. What do you think? In today's climate, we don't want to be agreeing with Vladimir Putin, right? But also, you don't want to be agreeing with Justin Trudeau either. I gotta be honest. You know what I mean? You don't want to agree with what he's done, what he's doing, how he treats his people. Just, I don't know. There's nothing I like about that guy. In the words of Jordan Peterson, there's not a word that comes out of that man that's true. He is a character. He is an actor. He's missing the only thing he's missing is a teleprompter. Thank God he could at least memorize lines, because I think that's all he is. But anyways, guys, like the video if you haven't liked it already. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And other than that, we are out. Hit the notification bell.